My name is Glenn Newton, and in this presentation, I'll introduce you to some of the new features in Apex 3.0. Before watching it, please watch the Apex 3.0 overview. Apex 3.0 incorporates incremental enhancements throughout the product, which I invite you to discover for yourself. This slide lists the major new features of Apex 3.0 as displayed on the Apex logon screen. In this presentation, I'll introduce each of these highlights. I'll also refer you to other presentations that cover some of the highlights in more detail. This is a quick look at the File Summary report, which applies to Security Level 1 and higher. Notice when you select the files for this, you can select them from Standard, Shared, or any directory. You can specify qualifiers if you want, or just take any qualifiers, and you can specify file names if you'd like. You can specify whether you want them to be owned by specific people, unowned, or any ownership. And in this case, I've selected any ownership, and the kind of access, public, private, or ACR controlled. And you can also have a range of clearance levels that are going to be included. Now, I've previously run this report, so let's take a look at the summary. When we ran with those parameters, we found that there were 4 files total. Well, let's take a look at them. Files are shown here, and if I want to get a little bit of information about the file, I can click this triangle and it'll give me some basic information. If I want to find out details of the file itself, I can click on this and go here, and in this case we can see the number of cycles and general information about it. Now let me go back to the report again. And let's take a look at what else we have. This is a list of owners, and in this case there are 2 different owners as well as 1 file that's not owned. If I click on the magnifying glass, it will help me find the ones that are owned by the person that I had selected there. So in this case there are 2 that were owned by GEN. They're public and their clearance level is 0. If I want to take a look at what the access control records are, again, I can bring those up, and if I want to look at a specific access control record, I can easily go to that. Let's suppose you want to save the file summary report for offline viewing. You can print it, and it'll come up with something like this that you could save or look at immediately. You could also export it in comma-separated value format. And it'll be something like this that could be looked at in Excel. If you want to look at a specific file, you can pick Files from the Security menu and enter the file name that you'd like to look at. Here we're looking at one already, but we can look at a different one if you'd like. And Apex will pick that up so that you can examine it and see how many cycles it has and other information about the file. Apex 3.0 includes a quota set report that lets you report on quota sets, and it lets you select them by naming the quota sets, selecting by a regular expression when they're effective, what run modes are included, and what privileges are included. So for example, if you wanted to find quota sets that have at least 1 quota that has all of these privileges, you could run that report. And as you see in the results here, out of the 137 quota sets on the system, 105 of them have at least 1 quota that includes all privileges. So if we look at this, for example, there are 2 different quotas, and in this case, both of them seem to include all of the specified privileges. You can also go to the Security menu and select Quota Sets if quota is turned on and you have sufficient privilege. Here we've previously selected Quota Set DPV03, and you can see that quotas 3, 8, and 10 are in use. If you'd like to find out what they show you, it's graphically demonstrated on the screen, but you can also get it in text form here. So let's take a look at 3, which says it's effective from 1305 until 1455. It affects remote batch and demand. There's a set of privileges allowed and others, as you can see, that are not checked, that are not allowed. and then there are some limits that are set as well. A new administration area in Apex 3.0 is the database area. You can view the database application group configuration and attributes of RDMS schema, storage area, and table objects, as well as viewing the installed software levels for a selected application group. For information on this new set of features, please view the Apex 3.0 Database Pages presentation. Apex 3.0 includes a modified access control records report that takes advantage of a new feature in the ClearPath 17.0 exec. In this, you can see that certain access control records have been changed, and you can view the changes before, after, as well as the current value. You can also look at the details of the ACR if you need to modify it in some way. For more information about this feature, please view the ACR logging presentation. Another new feature in Apex 3.0 is the ability to configure network authentication, just like you would do with Security Client, for instance. Another thing you can do with Apex 3.0 is export data in Security Manager format. You can export an individual object like this, or you can go to the Advanced Sec Manager screen and choose an entire set of users that you would like to export. This makes it a convenient way to make group changes or to move things from one system to another. Apex 3.0 also has expanded information about installed software, including the exec. For instance, on the home screen, you can see some basic information about the installed exec and related software. You can check to see what patches have been installed, and on this system there haven't been any exec patches installed. You can also look at the installed programs, and if any of them have had changes installed, if they've been updated, they'll show up, and in this case we haven't updated any of those. To find out more about this feature, view the set of change and IC tracking presentations. In Apex 2.0, you log on with your default account and project ID. In Apex 3.0, you can enter an account and project ID. Here you see that the account and project ID start at a default, but you can put in specific accounts here and specific project IDs in the next box, then use them to log in. And then the next time you log in, Apex uses your most recent account and project ID. And if you want to, you can change them again or go back to using the defaults. Apex 3.0 facilitates security administration, system configuration, software administration, and database administration. This presentation has been a whirlwind tour of a few of the new features in Apex 3.0. I encourage you to look at all of the presentations in this set that talk about Apex 3.0 and its features. Thank you.